Start with low-maintenance plants like lavender, hostas, or daylilies. Choose plants that thrive in your climate and soil for easier care. Use native plants to attract local wildlife and reduce water needs. Incorporate vertical gardening with climbing plants like ivy or roses. Add colorful flowers like marigolds, petunias, or zinnias to brighten up spaces. Mix shrubs with flowers for year-round visual interest. Create small garden beds with a variety of textures and colors. Use ground cover plants like creeping thyme or clover to fill empty spaces. Consider planting herbs like basil, mint, or rosemary for both beauty and utility. Use mulch or gravel for paths to create a clean, simple look. Install a small water feature like a fountain for a tranquil atmosphere. Create focal points with ornamental grasses like fountain grass or blue fescue. Add a few trees like Japanese maples or dwarf fruit trees for height. Use rocks or boulders for natural texture and a rustic feel. Consider a butterfly garden with plants like milkweed or coneflowers. Mix in a few exotic plants like Japanese fern or ornamental cabbage for contrast. Group plants by color for a cohesive and visually appealing design. Include a variety of foliage shapes to add interest, like the bold leaves of elephant ears. Create a cozy corner with a bench surrounded by choose plants with different blooming seasons for continuous color throughout the year. Install a simple trellis or arbor for climbing plants, adding structure and beauty. Add a few succulents or cacti for a modern, low-maintenance touch. Use repurposed containers or old furniture to create unique plant displays. Integrate eco-friendly practices like rain barrels for water collection. Choose perennial flowers like peonies, coneflowers, or asters that return each year. Create a garden with a theme, like a Mediterranean-style garden with olive trees and lavender. Add natural stepping stones through the garden for easy walking and a beautiful path. Plant wild grasses or meadow flowers for a natural, rustic look. Use brightly colored annuals like impatiens or begonias for quick bursts of color in shady spots. Consider adding a small pergola or gazebo for shade and a focal point in the garden. Plant a mix of deciduous shrubs for seasonal color and evergreen plants for year-round greenery. Build a garden pond with floating plants like water lilies or lotus for a calming effect. Use simple garden fencing or wire mesh to create defined spaces or protect plants from pests. Incorporate a touch of whimsy with hanging birdhouses, wind chimes, or decorative signs. Create a sensory walkway with textured plants, fragrant flowers, and soft moss underfoot. Create a fairy garden with tiny plants, miniature furniture, and whimsical accessories. Use reflective surfaces like garden mirrors to make small spaces appear larger and brighter. Install an inexpensive gravel or brick patio surrounded by potted plants for a cozy retreat. Incorporate plants with varying heights and shapes to give the garden a dynamic, layered feel. Plant hardy shrubs like boxwoods or yews to form natural privacy hedges in the garden. Consider growing plants with interesting foliage, such as coleus or variegated hostas, for year-round visual interest. Create a garden path lined with colorful perennials that bloom at different times of the year. Add a small garden bench or swing under a tree for a peaceful, shaded spot to relax. Mix bold, tropical plants like elephant ears with smaller, delicate flowers for a striking contrast. Plant trees with beautiful fall foliage, like maple or oak, to enjoy vibrant colors in autumn. Use small trees like dwarf lilacs or flowering dogwoods for pops of color. Add a few bright flowers like sunflowers or daisies for a cheerful vibe. Build a simple garden border with edging stones or recycled wood. Plant tall grasses or bamboo to create natural privacy screens. Mix in some edibles like strawberries or lettuce alongside ornamental plants. Use fairy lights or lanterns to add warmth and charm in the evening. Include a few low-maintenance ground covers like sedum or moss to fill empty spots. Create a zigzag or curved path with stepping stones for a more inviting look. Use containers with different heights to create depth and dimension in your design. Opt for drought-tolerant plants like sedge or lavender to save water. Add some brightly colored pots or planters to bring in pops of color. Create a wildflower patch for a natural, carefree aesthetic. Include a mix of deciduous and evergreen plants for year-round greenery. Grow fragrant climbing plants like clematis or wisteria along a trellis for vertical beauty. Add a small vegetable or herb garden in raised beds for easier access and maintenance. Create a peaceful retreat with calming plants like bamboo or lotus flowers around a small pond. Include plants with silver or variegated leaves, like lamb's ear, for a cool-toned contrast. Install garden mirrors to reflect light and create the illusion of more space. Choose a simple color palette for a minimalist, serene garden style. Add some garden furniture like wicker chairs or a wooden bench for relaxing in nature. Plant a fragrant rose garden for timeless beauty and a wonderful scent. Design a moon garden with white flowers that bloom at night like evening primrose or jasmine. Try container gardening with a mix of flowers, herbs, and small shrubs for flexibility. Use recycled or upcycled materials like old tires or wooden crates for unique planters. Design a playful garden with bright colors and quirky decorations like colorful planters or sculptures. Grow a small collection of ornamental grasses for movement and texture in the breeze. 113. Use garden furniture with a natural wood finish to blend seamlessly into the outdoor space. Plant plants with unique shapes, such as the spiky agave or the rounded globe thistle, to add variety. Create a Mediterranean-style garden with herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage for both beauty and function. Add an outdoor rug to the garden seating area for a cozy, homely touch. Install a garden arch or pergola with climbing flowers like jasmine or morning glories for a charming entrance. Use bright, colorful planters in different sizes and shapes for an eclectic and cheerful look. Integrate fragrant lavender or mint around pathways to release refreshing scents when brushed against. Grow low-maintenance shrubs like azaleas or rhododendrons for year-round interest and color. Create a garden with a soothing color palette of blues, whites, and purples for a calm, serene atmosphere. Use decorative garden stakes or sculptures to add a touch of art and personality to your space. Include some trailing plants like petunias or morning glories in hanging pots for a cascading effect. Plant berry bushes like raspberries or blueberries for beauty and the added bonus of fresh fruit. Create a fragrant herb garden with mint, thyme, oregano, and basil for both culinary and aromatic appeal. Choose low-maintenance evergreen shrubs like juniper or boxwood for year-round greenery. Add a mix of flowering bulbs, like tulips and daffodils, for an early spring burst of color. Plant a few aromatic shrubs like lavender, rosemary, or sage near your garden seating for a pleasant fragrance. Grow ornamental kale or cabbage for striking color and texture, especially in fall and winter. Plant small fruit trees like figs or apples for a productive, ornamental addition to your garden. Include small, colorful accents like mosaic stepping stones or painted flower pots to personalize the space. Add a few ornamental vines, such as clematis or honeysuckle, to soften fences or structures. Install a raised garden bed with easy-to-grow plants like lettuce, carrots, and spinach for a productive space. Create a garden that includes both edible plants and ornamental ones for a functional yet beautiful design. Use bamboo screens or fences for a stylish, natural-looking privacy solution. Incorporate plants with interesting textures, like the soft leaves of lamb's ear or the smooth, glossy leaves of hostas. Add some whimsical touches with garden gnomes, fairy lights, or playful sculptures for a fun garden vibe. Create a space for relaxation with comfortable seating, soft cushions, and plants that offer privacy and shade. Plant a collection of vibrant succulents like echeveria or aloe for a modern and low-maintenance garden. Create a coastal-inspired garden with beach grasses, driftwood, and seashells for a relaxed, nautical feel. Use natural stone or brick to create a charming garden path that blends seamlessly with the landscape. Add a few flowering vines like clematis or wisteria to wrap around fences or garden structures for vertical beauty. Incorporate some ornamental shrubs like lilacs, camellias, or rhododendrons for springtime blooms and texture. Build a garden that encourages relaxation by adding a hammock or swing bench surrounded by lush greenery. Grow plants with striking foliage, like the purple leaves of sweet potato vine or the silvery foliage of artemisia. Use large ceramic or terracotta pots to house plants like palms, ferns, or citrus trees for a stylish touch. Design a themed garden, like a Japanese Zen garden, with rocks, sand, and minimal plants for peace and serenity. Integrate native wildflowers like black-eyed susans or coneflowers to attract pollinators and enhance biodiversity. Add rustic charm with a weathered wooden bench or a repurposed wagon wheel for a vintage garden look. Grow low-growing herbs like thyme, oregano, or chives to fill gaps in the garden and provide culinary benefits. Use soft, muted colors for a garden filled with pastels, like pale pinks, lavender, and soft yellows, for a calming effect. Include fruiting vines like grapes or kiwi for a productive and unique way to cover fences or trellises. Create a fragrant garden with aromatic flowers like lilacs, jasmine, and gardenia that bloom throughout the seasons. Add texture and contrast by planting spiky plants, like yucca or agave next to soft, billowing flowers. Integrate a small gravel or pebble garden for a minimalist, low-maintenance option that requires little water. Create a cozy outdoor reading nook with a comfortable chair, a few plants, and a shaded space. Use garden fencing or mesh to create a vertical garden, allowing you to grow climbing plants in limited space. Add a small vegetable garden in containers for easy access to fresh produce right at your doorstep. Incorporate fragrant shrubs like lilacs or mock orange for a sensory garden experience. Plant a few fast-growing vines like morning glories or sweet peas to quickly fill in gaps and add beauty to fences. Include a few tropical plants like hibiscus, bougainvillea, or plumeria for vibrant, exotic color. Plant ornamental grasses like pampas grass or fountain grass to add movement and texture to your garden. Install a simple garden shed made from reclaimed wood for extra storage while adding a rustic, charming touch. Grow flowering trees like dogwoods or magnolias to add seasonal beauty and fragrance to your garden. Create a vegetable garden with raised beds, adding herbs and edible flowers for beauty and functionality. Create a cottage-style garden with a mix of wildflowers, climbing roses, and quaint garden structures like trellises. Add a raised herb garden near the kitchen for easy access to fresh flavors like basil, cilantro, and thyme. Plant a combination of deciduous trees like maples and fruit trees like apples or pears for seasonal beauty and function. Incorporate small, colorful potted plants around seating areas to brighten up the space. Build a simple garden bench surrounded by flowering plants, like geraniums or pansies for a peaceful retreat. Use large planters to create a dramatic statement at entryways or along a garden path with tall plants like ornamental grasses. Include plants with unique leaf patterns, such as the heart-shaped leaves of hostas or the variegated leaves of caladium. Design a garden that attracts bees with plants like lavender, sage, and bee balm for both beauty and environmental benefits. Grow a collection of tropical or exotic plants, like birds of paradise or palm trees, for a bold and dramatic effect. Design a small, enclosed garden nook with climbing plants, like ivy or roses, to create a secluded, intimate space. Use garden ornaments like colorful ceramic frogs, birds, or butterflies to add a whimsical, fun element to your garden. Plant a variety of evergreen shrubs around the garden edges for a natural, year-round privacy barrier. Grow climbers like jasmine or honeysuckle near windows or doorways for a fragrant and beautiful view. Add a rustic touch with a wooden wheelbarrow or rustic crates planted with seasonal flowers for visual interest. Integrate ornamental kale, cabbage, or other cool season plants for a unique and colorful garden in the fall and winter. Create a butterfly or hummingbird garden with nectar-rich plants like bee balm, lavender, or trumpet vine. Grow a small collection of fragrant herbs like oregano, rosemary, and parsley for both cooking and a fresh scent in the garden. Plant trees with distinctive bark, like birch or sycamore, to add texture and interest during the winter months. Add small, decorative water features like a tabletop fountain, or a small pond with aquatic plants for a tranquil atmosphere. Grow easy care plants like sedums or echinacea, that require little maintenance and thrive in a variety of conditions. Create a garden that blends with your home's architecture, using plants and colors that complement your house's exterior. Add hanging lanterns or string lights to illuminate the garden path and create a cozy, welcoming feel. Incorporate bamboo or grasses for a zen-like garden design, creating a peaceful and low-maintenance space. Use a combination of geometric and natural elements in your garden, like clean lines with irregular plant shapes. Add a whimsical garden element with stepping stones shaped like animals, leaves, or fun designs for a playful touch.